This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Well, good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Tuesday, January 24th, 2023. We're so glad you could join us today. In today's episode of Ag Matters PM, I have another weekly chat with Iowa State Climatologist Dr. Glisan. We also have a check of that ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Well, we're at the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, and for a bit of analysis, we go to Jacob Burks of agmarket.net. First off, Jacob, what have we seen in the grain markets today?
We saw a decent rally here in the corn market. The bean market has struggled most of the day, ended up closing negative, and we had the wheat market with a strong rebound as well. The corn market, if you look at the March chart, we went right back up to that 200-day moving average. We stalled out there around that 677 level, but you can chalk this mostly up to some turnaround Tuesday. We can sit and discuss the bounces every day, but when you look at it, we've chopped around sideways. We went down, found some buying interest off of some really good weather forecasts in South America. But all this is to be debated. I mean, weather forecast, it is raining, but the big questions are how's that going to affect some of those the southern Argentina crops and southern Brazil. So right now today it's a decent day, and we look pretty strong as we go into Wednesday.
Right, of course, with those market prices, it's important for most people to look at where the level's actually sitting at, not just the number for that day. Because, like you said, yesterday we saw pretty big drops, so today is just that rebound. So, are those levels sitting at a nice spot right now, or are we kind of looking a little different from what we usually see?
I'm glad you said that, really, because each and every day when you look at the market movements, there's so many things that factor in there. What's the spec funds doing with their positions? What's immediately affecting the market, such as headlines and stuff. It's a lot of it's more positioned. But when you take a step back, from a grain marketing standpoint, and you look at what where we at from the 10,000 foot view, and you're talking about 670, 680 corn for old crop. You're talking about a $6 price. $5.90 is where we're trading right now, but very close to $6 for new crop. You go out and you look at soybeans, and you look at $14.90 to $15 that we've touched here today for old crop soybeans. These levels are very good levels, especially the old crop levels of some profitability for your operation. Wheat market's something that has made a big push down. Some of that moisture that's come across the plains, some of the competing factors of globally of Russia or of Australia have seen some very good yields that are hitting the world market. So you got a big area of corn and beans wise that you're still very profitable level. The wheat market, hopefully we can find some type of bottoming formation down here. The one thing that is positioned right is the funds are very short in that wheat market, and if we do get some acreage numbers that don't satisfy, or we see some type of problem through Russia, Ukraine, we are set up with some powder in the gun to push that thing to make some nice recovery.
Right. Of course, we know that, just looking at our own marketplace, that each year when we face issues, the American farmer finds a way to get that crop out anyways. So, just considering all that issue, there's, especially this time of year, not really any reason to get too panicked yet.
No, I don't think panic mode is, but I think it's very important for the domestic producers here to take a step back and look and realize how much bigger the South American crop is. Okay, so at this point, we're stopping. We'll slow down a lot of our bean exports. We'll start into the corn market because the South American beans are starting to hit the marketplace. And when you're talking about 153 number in the soybeans possible for Brazil, and how much bigger that is, 20-something million metric tons better than what we were last year. We have some substantial quantities that will be available this year that weren't last year. And that South America is much better. So it's very important for us being on January 1st, almost $2 higher than where we ever have been in some of these old crop corn and bean numbers. To take a step back and look at what kind of risk management plan that you need to have, because there is some significant pressure that could be put on there just from the global export market coming from South America.
All right, and then what are we seeing on the other side of the markets in the livestock complex? Is still a bit of a reaction to the cattle on feed report?
I think that has definitely put an extreme plateau underneath that cattle market right now. We've seen some, the cash market fall off, a little bit, but no matter how you boil that report down, when you see 4 consecutive months of 90% of last year, it's telling us we don't have the availability of beef coming. And we saw a downward market most of the day here, 40, 50 cents, and we ended up rallying this thing 30 to 40 cents on the end of the day here in the live cattle. Feeder cattle, with the corn market flopping back and forth a little bit. We were very strong yesterday with corn market being down. Today we reversed the corn market. We saw the market come down a little bit in the feeder cattle, but pretty much steady. I mean, you look all the way out through there, we're 20 cents lower, is about as bad as we got. The hog market is one that's had a lot of volatility. We've seen quite a bit of fear in that market. We've even made some new lows here in that February contract as we went forward. We are starting to find some type of a bottoming in the front months. The back months are still peeling off. We were $1 lower out in the August. So that market has had a very hard time finding any type of bottom as you go further out. And it's been pretty volatile too. We've been seeing $2 to $3 moves, but the trend is definitely lower in the hogs. Hopefully we'll find some stability seasonally. We should be seeing some type of bottom to move up here.
Great analysis as always today, Jacob. For those of our listeners and our viewers who'd like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Get on our website, take a trial run of our intel that we send out quite a bit of commentary information. We encourage you to sign up for that trial there and take a look at the app that we have on. From our website, agmarket.net, you'll be able to find all of us there. If you want to holler at us, you can see our number there. We'd love to chat with you.
Always great to talk with you, Jacob, and we look forward to hearing from you again soon.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
That again was Jacob Burks of agmarket.net. We'll go ahead and take a look at how those numbers closed. That's courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. March corn is up 10 3/4 at $6.77 even. December new crop up 5 1/4 at $5.91 1/4. March soybeans down 1 3/4 at $14.88 1/2. November new crop down 1 1/2 at $13.38 even. Soybean meal down 2.10 at $4.59.80. Soybean oil down 1.06 at $60.98. Chicago wheat up 14 1/2 at $7.34 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat up 15 1/4 at $9.03 even. Kansas City hard red wheat up 14 3/4 at $8.33 3/4. March oats up 4 1/4 at $3.75 even. On the Merc, February live cattle up 37 at $157.85. January feeders down 22 at $178.95. February lean hogs down 47 at $77.10. Pork cutout down 45 at $84.95. January Class 3 milk down 4 cents at $19.44. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Iowa State Climatologist Dr. Justin Glisan. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Well, the weather looks to be trending colder, especially as we get these kind of preliminary forecasts for the month of February. Now, that's a good thing that we could see, as it can maintain that snowpack until we get that ground to thaw in the spring. As for what we could see in the near future and what that means for the spring crop season and that planting season, I talk with Iowa State Climatologist Dr. Justin Glisan. Well, we are here with Iowa State Climatologist Dr. Justin Glisan to talk about this week's drought monitor and just some of the weather we've seen recently. So first off, Justin, how is this week's drought monitor report looking?
Yeah, hi, Riley. So this week we're status quo, no change in the map, even though we did see measurable precipitation across the state over the 7-day reporting period. With soil profiles frozen, you're not getting infiltration of any moisture, but snowpack on the ground is good for potential snowpack melt as we thaw or if we get into warmer temperatures. You'll get some infiltration of that moisture in the first inch or two, squishy ground. But overall, not a lot of change. We've basically been status quo with some improvement over the last several weeks, given the warmer conditions and the more active storm track.
Right, and with, here in central Iowa, we've got, reports of around 4 inches of snow. Northwest, they were looking at closer to like 9 or 10 inches of snow. Is the weather looking like it'll be favorable to kind of keep that snowpack and possibly build on it more?
Yes, great question. So you look at the short-term outlooks that go out 2 weeks. We're transitioning from this warmer signal that we've been in into colder signals, so colder than average temperatures. Basically, we expect temperatures during the daytime to be in the mid to upper 20s. So below those temperatures, absolutely below freezing, of course. So we won't see a lot of snowpack melt. That snowpack on the ground is good. It also insulates the soil profile, so you don't get frost depths exceedingly deep. So yes, it looks like temperatures are going to support the snowpack. And then on the precipitation side, we're looking like near normal behavior out for the next 2 weeks. And as a reminder, January is the coldest and driest month of the year for Iowa. And we've been trending 6 to 10 degrees above average and almost 200% of normal precipitation statewide, with higher totals across northwestern Iowa.
Now, with that storm system that just went through, we did see that potentially southwest Iowa could get a decent amount, but then it turned out they got more of just a rain and a slush mix. Now, I heard the reasoning behind that was there was possibly a warmer pocket of air that kind of interfered there. What was the cause behind that?
Yep. So with these low pressure systems, given the spin of the low pressure, you can pull in a dry slot, and this is warmer and drier air that's pulled into the center of the low. It coincided with southern Iowa, so warmer and drier air. That precipitation, as it falls, will evaporate within that column, and it takes saturation for precipitation to reach the surface. Well, with those warmer and drier temperatures, the transition from rain to wintry mix was basically over Des Moines, and then points north received mostly snowfall. So it's just, again, we talk about with winter systems, the track of the low pressure system, and whether you're north or south of a given point within that low pressure will dictate which form of precipitation you'll get. And southern Iowa was on the warmer side of that.
And then looking ahead to this weekend and then over the next week, what are we expecting that we could see from these weather conditions?
So there's a chance of a low pressure system across southern Iowa. It's looking like it's trending a little further south. We call that a St. Louis low. A potential for 1 to 2 inches of snowfall across southern Iowa. Then it kind of looks like a quieter storm track than we've had over the last few weeks. So quiet conditions across the state.
All right. And is there anything else kind of just concerning what we could see soon, even in the next month or so? Any weather events that we should be on the look for?
So the initial February outlooks were issued yesterday. What we're seeing in those outlooks, and we'll have a final set of outlooks at the end of the month, slightly colder temperatures, I should say, in northwestern Iowa, and then a wetter signal across the eastern 2/3 of the state. So as we finish out January, getting into February, we're starting to gradually ramp up the amount of precipitation that we receive as we move into the growing season. We're still stuck in that La Nina winter. So what that dictates usually for analog years with a weak La Nina that we're in right now is above average snowpack. So up until this recent storm, we were actually in a snow drought. We were below average on snowpack. And this system, especially across the northern half of the state, really helped get more snowpack on the ground. So we're trending slightly above average for snowpack across the state. So February, the last few years have been an active month in terms of getting snowfall, but also cold weather outbreaks. We don't see anything in the signal right now, but definitely February can be a tricky month to forecast.
And of course, we'll talk about February more next week. As for right now, Justin, lots of great information today. For those of our listeners and our viewers who would like to get in touch and just learn more about Iowa's climatological patterns, how can they do that?
Yep, sure. First way is to Google Iowa Climatology Bureau. It'll bring you to our website. It has all kinds of reports, climatological outlooks, soil temperatures, soil moisture, anything you would ever need in terms of agriculture in the climatological scope. My direct office line is 515-281-8981. And my email is justin.glisan@iowaagriculture.gov.
Great talking with you as always, Justin, and we look forward to hearing from you again next week.
Always look forward to it, Riley.
That again was Iowa State Climatologist Dr. Justin Glisan, and speaking of the weather, let's go ahead and take a look at that ag weather outlook. Well, the temperatures are getting colder, but the weather really isn't going to change too much. We could see a chance for some precipitation over this night, but what we would get would probably be a very little amount and very patchy. Otherwise, we're just looking at cloudy skies and cold temperatures for the foreseeable future. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, the weather won't be changing too much this week. Today we have cloudy to mostly cloudy skies with patchy fog in the northwest, highs ranging from the low to mid-30s. Tonight we have patchy fog with a slight chance for snow, otherwise it'll be mostly cloudy. Lows overnight ranging from the upper teens to upper 20s. And tomorrow we'll have snow and patchy or freezing fog with highs ranging from the mid-20s to low 30s. And taking a look at the affiliate weather map, Cherokee will be snowy and blustery with a high of 25. Shenandoah, snowy, blustery, high of 31. Des Moines, much of the same with that snow and a high of 30. Waterloo, snow and 30. Albia, snow and 31. And Clinton will be mostly cloudy, a chance for snow and a high of 33. For more detailed forecasts in your part of the state, make sure to check in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. That's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook, and that also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find all of our video content as well as previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button to see when those videos go live. And of course, you can always check out our free Twice Daily Market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IRN studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson and Dustin Huffman, who is on his way back to Iowa today, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.